Hello everyone, today I'll be casting one of my series from the Warhammer World Cup Championships. So, yeah, it's the one that I didn't record live gameplay footage of. I just forgot. So, let's get started with the first match then. So, I I was higher up in the pool, so I had to choose first. And for my first pick, I go with Wood Elves spanning Dwarfs and Bretonia. And my opponent picks Empire, as you can see. I'll go into the army. They like to kite or rush. Way Watchers build, whereas if what of their extreme nature can be very hard for Empire to deal with nowadays. So Empire have to go with a more well-rounded build. Before, since vanguarding is not as strong due to Orion's buffs and Drytrus inclusion in the recent DLC, Empire could safely camp with maybe one or even two artillery pieces, and it would have been hard for Wood Elves to dislodge. I mean, it will take a bit of finesse, but it is possible due to the Arrow of Kurnus and other magic missile. Well, I guess that's the only magic missiles the Wood Elves have before the DLC. But it is the build that I kind of went for here. So leading the army, we have the Glady on a horse. She has Prey of Anathrema, Arrow of Kurnus, and from the recent buff she got in the DLC, I'm not sure if everybody noticed, is the fact that she has Vanguard now on a horse. So this is very strong, actually. The fact that she could Vanguard, she could go deploy pretty close to the enemy, and because she's so fast, she could pop an Arrow of Kurnus down on an artillery piece before the Empire has really a chance to respond. So that's one of the new buffs they had. The Waystalker always had Vanguard. Also has Snipe, which is really good at sniping Marcus Wolfhard and the Bright Wizard, for example. He also has Arrow of Kurnus and, Hawkish Precision that all the Way Watchers kind of innately have. So, yeah, very strong hero core. Uh, then we also have the Spell Singer of Life, the Life Singer. And she has just Earthblood and Awakening of the Woods for the speed debuff that I mainly use it for. You can also use it for clearing up infantry blobs, but that's more situational. And Blessing of the Ancients, which I should have dropped on this map because there's not a lot of forests. There's some here, but it's not where I deployed, and it's this is just like a stock army I use. But I should have been more aware of my surroundings and actually drop that passive because it's not useful here. So for my main killing power, I have the three-way watchers here. Very, very meta. Um, this is your anti-cav core, 360 stock, 190 range, armor piercing. They will basically kill anything. Um, they can basically kill anything in the game, unless there's some sort of ridiculous missile stacking stuff that you do. But yeah, there are my main damage dealers, and it's very important that they stay alive and use up all their ammo because that's my win condition. For my Cav core, I have 2 units of Wild Riders. They're there to mainly to clean up the chaff, but they will also bloody block the enemy knights from intercepting my Way Watchers. And they're not the best at fighting Cav, but then like none of the Wood Elf Cav are, right? Even the new Stag Knights, they're kind of limp on the charge, so they are not very cost effective. But Wild Riders, they're amazing. They could, because of their speed, they could choose the ideal engagements, and yeah, and for fighting the Cav, I mainly have spears for that case. So they're not necessarily designed to fight Cav, but I'll have to use them if push comes to shove. The Glade Riders, they're mainly there to hunt down routing units and also like harass the Empire missile troops. They do have bronze shields, which I don't know. I feel like they should get silver shields. I mean, the free elven shields meme kappa. But anyway, they're very good. They're really fast. They have slightly better stats than like Dark Riders, but they actually have less armor and less health, so they kind of actually trade about even from my experience in that regard. And also, I mean, also they do have Strider and Woodsman, right? So like if they're fighting in the forest, they would actually beat Illyr and Reavers, which is really nice. So now you also have I also have one unit of Glade Rider Hagbane, just to have poison because poison is just ridiculous in this meta now. Basically, 20% reduction across the board on AP and non-AP damage, and then also 24% speed debuff. I mean, that's just freaking amazing. So for my opponent here, the Empire player, OG RuskiJim, brought Marcus Wolfhard, which is a very strong pick. He has stock. He has amazing character sniping potential. And that's what you should be using him for, just sniping characters. Like shooting down, maybe you could maybe pop a few shots on the Way Watchers on the Cav, but his main target here would be my heroes. The Bright Wizard also has Fireball, so that could help with the Lord sniping. And the Burning Head, which is just to win the infantry fight. Which the Empire didn't bring a lot of, but they will beat my Internal Guards. He had, just one extra more infantry. So 5 units of spears, which will trade evenly into these Eternal Guard. But overall, the infantry on both sides is not of low priority here. My opponent went for a very strong calf force of 4 Empire Knights, 1 Knights of the Blazing Sun, and 1 Demi Griff Knight. So Demis, I don't know, they don't have a use against my army here, but I could see them being somewhat useful against like a tree blob or against I don't know, Zotes, for example. He did bring the shielded variant, which is definitely better than bring the what do you call it? Than the halberds, because like halberds are just like, I don't know, just a way over investment in this matchup. But it's not like he didn't have AP, right? He has the silver bullets, so if he keeps the silver bullets alive, he always has an answer to trees if that is what he encounters. He also has 2 units of crossbowmen, and yeah, silver bullets. I mean, this unit is so amazing. Like if you use it properly, it'll easily generate its value because it only costs 250 more than the standard handgun variant, and they have magic damage, which is amazing against wood elves. They have slightly more range as well, 150 instead of 145, and they have stock, which is like the most important thing in this matchup. Not being able to, I guess, get ambushed upon by the Way Watchers as easily. So, at the start of the game, I noticed my opponent is actually moving very aggressively with his cav force here. And this is something that you should not do. Because, watch this. Oh my god, 1 volley, about over a third health gone on this unit of Vampire Knights. Second volley, oh my god, another 1/3. Lost about 11 models. Now he's turning back, so he doesn't have, his shields, and just 1 volley over half health gone. Tries to get a fireball, notice it in time. Pretty easy dodge. And now the Glade Riders are here, so I'm poisoning them, so they're harder to, they can't escape as easily. Prayer of Anathrema, because why not? The enemy is really out of position at this point. I could get a Prayer of Anathrema, get out, and let it recharge. And this unit of Vampire Knights is basically good, like not useful at all. I actually try and chase them off, but since they were routing in the right position, this unit of Vampire Knights is going to save this unit of Vampire Knights from being completely chased off the board. But, you know, that's about like 900 gold instantly of value. Get one cheeky volley, 2 cheeky volleys into the crossbowmen. And the crossbowmen here, they're just there to zone out my cav from just getting free charges. And I'm pulling back, you know. I don't want to take a melee engagement unnecessarily. I mean, I know I will lose the infantry fight, so might as well pull back. And yeah, so this unit of Vampire Knights, again, is unsupported. And it's so low at this point that the unit of Glade Riders will be able to easily take it out. The Knights of the Blazing Sun is pushing forward. And into my Way Watchers, I assume. But it is getting intercepted, and it didn't even get its charge off. So this is terrible for the Knights of the Blazing Sun. Oh. So a Burning Head comes down. I didn't notice it in time. So it does really good damage on my Eternal Guard. And I had... So I sent it over, and yeah, I have to engage the front line now. Even though it's not ideal. I would have probably wanted to pull back a bit more. There's no reason to push forward, but I guess I had enough of an advantage at this point. I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm just completely crushing this this right flank here, and my left flank is just not, you know, not being pressured. If these two Empire Knights are pushing at the same time, I couldn't be getting free volleys in, right? One, I don't know if that, I think that missed, but yeah. But the lady has been taking actually a lot of damage. Try to push in to into the silver bullets, but you know, a nice net from my opponent out of my own medicine, the Wood Elf's own medicines against the prey. And I didn't manage to get, oh man, if I was maybe a bit quicker, I could have had a charged order given. So it's okay. I intercept his knights at the same time. This is my second prey of Anaplan, I believe. And yeah, these Empire Knights are gone. So now that he used up one of his nets, I have free reign to just chase the silver bullets. And this is huge. Empire Knights getting cleaned up, shattered here, and yeah. I still have decent amount of ammo, but I'm losing the front line. The front line isn't as important. Even the Way Watchers can trade decently into the front line. You know, if push comes to shove. Once they use up all their ammo, of course. And then, you know, I'm just eliminating the key units. Now, the crossbowmen. One rear charge, actually, on these Umbrace spears routed them. And I guess I should have chased them off. I guess they would have routed off naturally because they're so close, but guess not. The spears are trying to go for my Wild Riders here. And, well, they won't be able to catch. So this is the thing about Wood Elf, is that you get to choose your engagements, which is, with the right micro, it's just amazing. Burning Head comes down, there's a, you know, hits a bunch of my models, but doesn't really kill any of them. As you can see, they got back up. Probably actually destroying this Eternal Guard, but at this point, I don't know. I get a full surround here, but didn't manage to break them. And I'm just chasing off, you know, the routed units with the Glade Riders, which is what they're supposed to do. Wild Riders, he braces really well, actually, so I couldn't deal a lot of damage to him. But, you know, they're wavering nonetheless. And I'm sniping his characters now. And he notices, so he pulls out in time. But yeah, I should have chased this unit off earlier. This shatters, but silver bullets actually come back online. And they're hidden, so I couldn't even see them. And I see Marcus now because my Wild Riders And oh, they got a nice volley. We have 12 models left, and I don't think they're enough to last Samurai. These 14 models of handgunners. So he's actually sniping my character, which is actually doing a very good job. But Marcus is about to get a taste of his own medicine, as you can see. I mean, he is just auto-firing. I mean, shooting down the Eternal Guards, I guess, is nice. And a nice Earthblood. It's the important units. Still sniping the character. See the homing missiles? The True Flight arrows? These are amazing. And Marcus gets a bit too close. Oof. And that just triggers army losses. So overall, I think my opponent was just way too hasty. Like, if he coordinated his calf push, would have been a lot harder to, like, if he just enveloped me. But, you know, just a bit, just getting you know, the two Empire Knights basically over half HP lost for no reason was a big blow. Marcus did a lot of damage, but mostly shooting into like Eternal Guards and my Cav, right? And he didn't manage to kill my heroes. And the Glady will beat the Marcus in melee, I'm pretty sure. She has like what, like 65, 60 stats? She's no joke. And same with the Waystalker. The Waystalker had like 50 something melee attack, so they would have been able to beat him. So he needed to snipe them out at range, but they were alive. I still had healing. That was a big issue. My Cav was still healthy enough. I mean, after like all the Empire Cav were like completely neutered, and that was his win condition. He spent so much money. Like maybe I was like, what? This is over a third of the fund we have. Right. The range didn't really find a home. I think the silver bullets needed to be supporting the Cav fight if possible, but the Cav just overextended without any support, no infantry support, no range support. Yeah, that was a disaster for the Cav. One unit of Empire crossbowmen just got good value into my unshielded Eternal Guard, but they weren't there to, you know, win the battle, right? Way Watchers are there to win the battle, and it's nice killing the chaff, but he just, his win, if he wanted to win, he needed to shut down the Way Watchers, because against an army that doesn't have healing or any sort of like damage mitigation resist, like if Way Watchers use up all their ammo, you basically win the game. That's your win condition. As the Wood Elves, use up all your ammo on your Way Watchers, and as the Empire, you just need to shut down these Way Watchers, which had the tools, but just didn't execute. Yeah, I mean, if he had Volkmar or like and like or like a life caster, maybe you could tank the damage of the Way Watchers. It's still not. I mean, that is still super, like, you know, like you might have tanked it with your infantry, but like even then it's still hard, right? Like if Way Watchers use up all their ammo, they're gonna get so much value. So yeah, basically he just needed to time to push better. So that's game one. Let's go to game two. So my opponent now picks Dwarves, and he bans Skaven, which is a good ban. But then he also bans Bretonia, which is a bit odd to me. But nevertheless, confident I choose free win, right? Of luck and stuff in this match. But I mean, ever since the buffs to infantry mass, I think chariots have just not been as good against dwarves. They're still amazing, don't get me wrong, but dwarves now, you know, they don't rely just on, you know, gyro spam to deal with chariots, and it's good because, you know, like I think infantry getting like abused by higher mass models was not good for the meta. But I mean, dwarves undoubtedly got the most benefit from the buff. So if you're just going over my build, we have the fire mage. She's on a chariot, and she has the two magic regen, so Starwood Staff, Book of Hoeth, and her only spell is Fireball. I also brought Kindle Flame because Kindle Flame is necessary if you want to snipe down artillery model against Dowie artillery specifically, because they do have the, I believe, 25% magic resist. So against any other faction, you actually don't need Kindle Flame, but against Dowie you do. We also have the Noble on a chariot. He has Armor of the Stars, Full Seeker, Sacred Incense. So this is nice to have. It is a bit, expensive, but if you could stock up on an enemy and then later just like start running them over before the guns get to fire, it's really strong. The missile resist is also really nice because that's Dor's main way of killing chariots outside of these bad boys, which I'll go over later. And Larry, she has her standard kit, Star of Avalorn, Arcane Conduit, Tempest, Shield of Thorns, Earthblood, Shieldstone of Isha, Shield of Safri, Life Bloom. Just very good overall. She's good because, well, she heals up the chariots, and she can shut down any gyro play, which recently, dwarves have not been over relying on because, well, of the mass changes and stuff like that. But it's still something that you got to be aware of. So having her on an eagle with 120 speed, or no, 110 speed. I guess the Phoenix have 120. But with 110 speed, she could catch up gyros, especially with Tempest, and just knock them out. So with the dwarfs here, we have Belagar, Ironhammer, and he's very, very cost effective, actually. He's a tanky lord. That doesn't have the most utility. I mean, he does have this item that gives expert charge defense, so that could be useful against chariots, especially since he brought the great weapon variant, right? Because great weapons, they don't have charge defense, whereas the regular dwarf warriors and longbeards do. So that's nice. I can see that. He has 2 units of giant slayers, and these guys, man, if you don't shoot them, they will put in work. They will put in work. I don't know why people don't use them actually as much as often, but oh my god, you'll see how much work they put in. And then we have an organ gun and a cannon. So fairly heavy investment in artillery. There's 2 bug bins that are both chevroned up to 2, and but miners blasting charges. So let's see. So at first I was like thinking, I want to win I want to win the artillery duel. But oh my god, I didn't dodge that. She took quite a bit of damage. Pop both the magic regen item because I want to cast the fireball as soon as possible to take out some organ guns here. Hammers are my first target for the bolt thrower. I wanted him to move into me, but let's see. If the fireball connects, that might be it. But no, it whiffs. That hurts. Fireball that misses. Oh, not good. The cannon is still, I think, going. The cannon's probably shooting at Larry now, and I'm dodging, but I moved the Eagle Claw bolt thrower to try and take out the organ gun. I mean, it does outrange the organ gun, but I think it also puts it in range of the cannon now. So, I don't know. I really want to take out the organ gun, because if I could take out the organ gun, that's like 1,000 gold down the drain, right? And then my infantry can just approach safely. But, I don't know. Let's see how this artillery duel shapes up. I started pushing a bit forward because I'm thinking maybe I won't be able to win this. And because the organ gun is actually trying to get in range of my bolt thrower, I think I can get a few volleys off with my arrows before they pull back. fire into the cannon, I guess. I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking I could, if I took out the cannon model, maybe the bolt thrower will be able to take out the organ gun this time. But another whiff. You can see I missed 2 fireballs at this point, and it's just not looking good. The noble is trying to sneak up. Maybe if I could sneak up the noble, I could disrupt the cannon crews. But oof, man. I need to pull my infantry to safety, but I don't know. Right now it's not looking great. I did get a good bait out some blasting charges. Were really nice. Took some damage for that, but now he's going to be surrounded by giant snares. And I don't know. I'm losing the artillery duel right now, and I'm trying to pull out of this terrible engagement. I mean, he's taking a lot of damage. Oh my god. 3rd fireball. Another whiff. This is not looking good, and at this point I have to push forward. I mean, I can't just be spamming fireballs and missing. But it is super unlucky because I've never had it miss that many times. I guess maybe I should have been as close as possible to line it up with my mage. But like, that's 3 fireballs and 3 misses on a ability that generally has really high, you know, anti-artillery capabilities. So I don't know what the heck was going on. But yeah, I mean, if something like this happens with this build, you know, it's not looking good because now I'm pushing prematurely into this. It's like my build wasn't designed for rushing in the first place, and now I'm just pushing prematurely. I couldn't set up a good engage with all my infantry. One of my archers already got routed by the organ gun. It's crazy. But yeah, not looking good. Not looking good at all. I think I also messed up my control groups at this stage. I accidentally pressed Control G, and then all of them went into one control group, which is really bad. I dodged some of the blasting charges, but I don't know. I don't know what Larry was doing. She just dived straight into Giant Slayers. This was a huge misplay. I guess I was just making a lot of bad decisions this game. The White Lions start pushing through the gaps. So this unit of Giant Slayers is going to intercept. And I should have been using this unit of... she routed at least, thank God. And then died, but... this unit of Rangers needs to get on top of these Giant Slayers ASAP. I don't know why my archers weren't shooting them. This was just a lot of bad plays. I mean, there's one unit of free dwarf warriors now chasing my archers, and they're just... This is just a disaster at this point, you know? I'm chasing these bugmans, but then, like, they're just kiting me. And then I don't want to fight the hammers because I know it's a free loss. And, yeah. I finally managed to take down both artillery pieces, but... at what cost? At what cost? Still a lot of Giant Slayers. Still so much infantry left. I'm trying to kite, but he's doing a good job chasing me down, so I couldn't regroup. Because if I could regroup, you know, I could have been psycho-charging more, because as long as I had infantry, right, that was engaged, I could be psycho-charging. But it's not looking good. I mean, if he chases off all my infantry, it's just not looking good. I mean, I had to engage with my single entities, right? I mean, and yeah, he's trying to snipe out Larry, and Larry's almost dead. But I mean, at this point, it's just game over. Like, I don't even think I could kill all the giants. I mean, well, I guess I killed all the Giant Slayers. No, actually, there's one unit of 10 units of Giant Slayers left, but I couldn't even kill the hammers, right? Oh my god, that was terrible. Let's see. The chariots both did fine, but that's mainly because I had to heal them up a lot. But if you look at the Giant Slayers, oh my god, 3k, 2k, 1.4k on the bugmans. Cannons Oh my god. This was a disaster game for me. It all came down to the missed fireballs. If I imagine if all three fireballs connected, I might have been able to win the artillery duel, or at least, you know, like just waste a lot of ammo and time. And then once that is done, you know, my infantry could have, like, if he didn't have these two units of artillery, and we were fighting just head to head, melee with the melee and with the archers, like I would have definitely won that. But I think I made a lot of mistakes that game, and then yeah, it cost me. So well played to OG RuskiJim. Um, this is not a matchup that I would take granted for anymore. I would have to, you know, be more decisive. I can't be playing like this build, which is just it's too well-rounded. Maybe against a well-rounded Dowie build, this could work. But yeah, I mean, especially the fireball, it's just really costing me the game. I feel like I feel like I needed to either be more aggressive, or or if that is not the case, then just go pure range and just try to outshoot the dorks. But good games too, OG Risky, Gem. Um, he's the only person that managed to take a map off me in the first group stage, so congrats. And I think we'll meet again. I don't know. We'll see.